Today we're going to be talking about the big three. I just wanted to gush about the three of them all in one video because I was rewatching Naruto there recently, and obviously I have a whole channel about One Piece over at Drinking Tea with MK. I don't know where I'll leave it. It's in the description anyway. If you just want to go check it out, really recommend it. Love the stuff we do over there. Bunch of One Piece content. We cover the chapters that come out every week, and we just cover some random One Piece shit, whatever comes to mind. There's a new video out I made. Is Odin stronger than Prime Rayleigh? And I think it's a very good video. Good points. Pretty short as well. You can go check it out. I'll leave that link in the description as well. But back onto the topic of just gushing about the big three in general. I'm a big fan of all of them. Mainly Naruto and One Piece. But I also do love Bleach. I just got into it recently. I think I'm not as big of a fan of it because I haven't reread it yet. And I just gave it one read. And also it had a negative perception at the time. So may have tainted my opinion on it. But I will say I still like it. Still love it very much. First manga I fully read that I knew had an anime, but decided to read the manga instead of watching the anime. So I will say the art was fantastic. Great read through. A lot more fluid than the other two series because I got the full author intention. But I feel like maybe what diminished my experience a bit is I really like the music of both series, and I can't compare Bleach's music because I haven't listened to the anime soundtrack and also voices. But however, that's just me. That's my own fault for the medium I chose to take it in by. But all I wanted to say was they're all great, and I just wanted to gush about it for a bit. Different elements I find. I feel like One Piece obviously is in a tier of its own in my own mind, but they are the big three together. They're the big Western anime that basically kicked it off in a mainstream way. Dragon Ball started it, but I mean, these movies kicked it to another level. My best analogy for it is, alright, Dragon Ball is like the Dark Knight, right? Dragon Ball is like, it got everyone interested in superheroes again. Everyone was kind of really, really hyped up. But then, like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach are like the Iron Man, right? They started a whole wave of movies, of like shonen anime and anime in general coming to the country and getting big over here. You know, that's kind of the analogy I'd like to use. And they're all great in their own ways. I feel like I'm going to talk about their big strong points in a bit. Everyone says One Piece's world building is their strongest point, and I would tend to agree. But I also like to add the long-term character building is fantastic. And that's, like, think of it. We made a video there recently. It's probably just up on the other channel as well about Momonosuke and his character development, which I will also have linked in the descriptions if you want to go check it out. Man, I'm really plugging shit today. I apologize. But my point being is it shows the long-term development characters can have. Minor characters that you're introduced to midway through the story, but can still grow into better characters. And then the main characters even further. And Oda knows exactly what to do with his characters, unless you count the gags. We don't talk about the gags. And it's fantastic. And his world building, of course, beautiful. Fishman Island, favorite island in the series. For a swimmer like me, it's like heaven on earth. And honestly, man, Naruto, it's his villains. Naruto's villains, fantastic. I love Naruto's villains so much. All the other series have some fantastic villains. But Naruto's got, okay, we got Madara, we got Itachi, we got Pain, man. Oh, I'm just saying about it now. You even got Sasuke if you want to think about it, right? You got Sasuke. Yeah, you got Obito. Even Danzo, he's so fucking hateable, and he's such a fucking scumbag. It makes you hate him so much. It's so much fun. And then you got Boruto's era, which isn't great with villains, but they have some interesting setup villains. Kawaki looks like he's gonna be an awesome villain. And oh man, there's so many big villains and stuff. Orochimaru, how can I even temporarily forget about Orochimaru? I feel ashamed, man. That's terrible. Orochimaru was a mad villain. He spanned nearly half the fucking series. He was the main villain. There's some fantastic villains. The Nine Tails. Oh, Naruto's big strong point is its villains. It really is. Itachi for one, Madara, Obito, Pain, Nagato. God, all these villains, man. All these villains. Orochimaru. I really need to give Orochimaru some respect on that name. He's a fantastic villain. Oh, damn. But then Bleach, I feel like it's exploration of Ichigo as a character, and it's a lot more specific and a lot less hype. Obviously, the art as well. The art is fascinating. The art is like, it's like going through a fucking mastermind's personal museum when you're reading Bleach. The art is fantastic. For the art alone, I'd recommend giving the full series a read, because you're going to see some beautiful, beautiful pieces of art on a totally different level to the other two. Not to disrespect the other two's artwork, but that's really what Bleach is going for, and its exploration of the struggles of Ichigo. Which, I'm going to be honest with you, they're so deeply done that I didn't really understand it completely on a first read through. And I had to reread some arcs, reread a chapter here and there to fully understand it. Because you're trying to get through it and you don't fully grip it. But the entire arc is basically him getting over his grief of his mother's death in the early series. And that's such a fascinating thing about this. Bleach, in terms of its big flaw, is the supporting cast, really. Like, the main crew. The supporting cast outside of the main crew is fine. But, like, Chad, Uryu, and Orihime aren't that great. Rukia isn't that great either, but he does have some decent character. Chad as well. I shouldn't be giving Uryu, Uryu as well. Chad and Orihime are kind of bland. I do love Chad though. Orihime can just, I don't know, we're not talking about Orihime. But that is the big problem with Bleach. Well, not, they're pretty good. It's pretty solid as well. There's loads of different elements. I think if we're talking about the flaws of the series, as you know, for me, it's One Piece's Sanji gags and early Momonosuke gags. And then for Naruto, I'd say it's got to be the 40% filler. That's the major problem. 40% filler. Also, I feel like, just like I feel that empty hole with Bleach, whenever I read the manga of Naruto, I have an emptiness, because that soundtrack. Oh, that soundtrack. Oh, it gets me going every time, man. That Naruto soundtrack, beautiful, 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 man. It's like One Piece without the voice acting. Oh, dude. I need to give Bleach's anime a shot. Just to see. Just to, like, when I'm, instead of rereading it, maybe rewatch some of it, or watch some of it. Because I feel like I'm missing such an integral part to my enjoyment with no music, man. Oh, man, because thinking about the soundtracks of the other two series is actually banging. But, like, you can see, because of how excited I'm getting with this, like, the big three were a big deal, an excellent series, and they're all right. They lasted for at least 500 chapters. And One Piece is still ongoing with 1,047 to this date. Naruto went for 700 chapters, and Bleach went for 686 with a new one-shot that came out there recently. Like, what the hell? These are behemoths. None of the new gen, or not even the new gen at this point. Most of the new gen have ended now, with Black Clover on its final arc, Dr. Stone finishing up, My Hero finishing up. I don't know about JJK, but most of the big dogs are finishing up. Demon Slayer's finished up, you know? So, but the big three lasted for so long, and people can say, right, there were some plot inconsistencies here and there. There may have been a few issues, but a lot of that was the animes, to be 100% fair. A lot of that was the way the animes were done. The manga, especially Bleach's manga, I will say, it's very fluid. I didn't see many plot holes with it. It was very, very, very easy to kind of read and keep up with. No kind of disruptions in flow, which I experienced with Naruto, but then looking back, that's because it was 40% filler. And but I will say, the music and all that make up for so much. And then One Piece, I watched the anime, but I used a guide, unlike with Naruto. I watched Naruto week to week growing up. One Piece I used a guide, so it was less so, but it's still not as fluid as reading the manga. But then the moments, when they hit those moments and overtaken plays, you know, some shit about that go down. But yeah, so mostly, the most issues people have, I find, with the pacing and the plots tend to be just the anime. So we're going to talk mainly about the mangas when we talk about it, because they were very well done in many ways. The stories were very well done, very coherent. They had a few plot holes, obviously, but very coherent for such long-running behemoths. And I think what really shows how great they were is that they still get talked about. Some of them still get games, right? And you still have big, huge fan bases for them. Hell, people thought Bleach was dead, right? But what brought Bleach back? Let's be real. It was the Brave Souls game. There was such a big fan base for that Brave Souls mobile game that they were like, people still love Bleach because that fan base and those characters in that world, people were so invested in that they realized, fuck, people are loving this show. We need to bring it back. You know what I mean? Like, that's how deeply these fan bases are ingrained into this series. Because it's so long, they become a part of your weekly life. Naruto, for me, when I was growing up, that was mad. Its power system meant so much to me because it was the only power system where if you learned how to use chakra properly, you could basically completely negate physical disability in terms of like balance issues and shit like that. It was fascinating, and it happened in the first arc. That really set off my love for the series with the tree training arc. So I was like, I could completely negate my disability with this. That's actually so cool, and that really set me up loving that, which is a real personal story. So I really, really love that series from then on. I have problems with it now because I can remember my dumbass kid self, and every time I read or watch Naruto, that's what I think about. So I do have a bit of bias against it in that regard, but it's still fantastic. Oh man, and the older you get and then you have the rewatches, you understand stuff on a deeper level, like Sasuke's character, Itachi, Jiraiya, just all the basic themes, and you appreciate it more rather than big man looks cool, man. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You know, you have a more deeper understanding to it. But oh god. Oh my god, these series, man. These series are fantastic. I said this was going to be a fanboying video, and that's what I'm here to do. Oh man. Alright, and Wano at the minute, Wano is peak fiction right now. Wano is fantastic. I will say Act 2, bit slow, but Act 1 and 3, fantastic. Act 3 on its own is like one of the best arcs in the series. And then we just came off my personal favorite arc in the series of Whole Cake. And then you got a big, huge Dressrosa saga, which the anime kind of butchered a little bit. Although I didn't notice that because I was watching it in one go. But apparently it did. And then, but they're fantastic. Big setups. Then you got Marineford war arcs, and we don't talk about Naruto's war arc. I haven't actually read the Naruto war arc. I only watched it, so I have a bit of a tainted experience on it. But that introduced one of the best villains in the entire series, Madara and Obito. Obito, although at first seemed a bit dumb with his Rin, but after a while, and after a few rereads, and talking with people who've also read it, you understand the depth to that and the actual fundamental ideas through it. You know what I mean? And it's fascinating. And then even now, if you think about it, what I was saying was how beloved these fan bases are. Like they're all getting sequels. Naruto has a sequel. Bleach is getting his own sequel because the worlds are so deep and so ingrained that you can make sequels on this. You can constantly make content on it because the worlds are so well developed. Like think of Naruto. You have villages that basically include entire nations that you can build a story on and backstories on with light novels and manga. And now they're going into fucking space. Like that's mad shit. You know what I mean? It's exciting to see this. It's exciting to see all this stuff. And One Piece is still going strong. The big three, no matter what you think about it, they're a real cultural anomaly for how great all three series are. They're just fantastic. We get the world building and all, a lot of them is fantastic. We get great characters, we get great villains, we get great fights. Oh man, I can't. Asked it for my rambling about it, but I just wanted to ramble about it for a bit because I just wanted to appreciate it. You know, I don't see enough big three appreciation these days, and I just wanted to go about appreciating stuff because, you know, big love to them because I've seen now with the Bleach hate dying down, we're getting Naruto hate, and I'm sure it's going to move to One Piece when it finishes. But I'm telling you, all three of these series are masterpieces in their own right and should be respected for that alone. And I must say I'm very happy from when I got to grow up. I got to grow up and experience these series at different times in my life, and it kind of contrast how I felt at the different times. Like I grew up with Naruto, and now I got to read One Piece and Bleach at the perfect time in my consideration, especially One Piece. I think I read it last year, or like 2020. Whenever I had the last year surgery, yeah, last year between end of 2020, start of 2021, and honestly, it was the perfect time. It honestly was. It was at the point where I was kind of understanding myself more, and I think it was the perfect time to have a story like One Piece come into my life. And in Bleach, although I it didn't hit me as deeply, I still really enjoyed it. And after looking back at it and rereading a bit and looking at stuff like that, you understand and more deeply about it, because at the time I was just trying to get through it. So I missed a few of the more complex things that I now see, and I relate to a lot of these things on a deep level. So all these series have so much to them, and we know about. I always go on about how much I love Naruto and stuff like that because of certain things, but you just honestly, man, they're all fantastic series. And if you haven't watched them, give them a watch. If for nothing else for me, I'm not gonna promote anything else for this video because I did that enough at the start of the video. So yeah, the only thing I want you to do now is to go and watch the big three, because they're fantastic series and I think they deserve a watch. With that being said, I'll see you all next time.